Reproduction in Animals. Part 2. Life cycle of a frog.
Hey kids, look at yourself in the mirror. Do you find yourself looking exactly like your parents? We may not look like our parents, but we have features that resemble our parents, right? Do you know, when insects and frogs hatch out from the eggs, they do not look like their parents. But as they grow, they have undergone several processes to look like their parents. This process of transformation from young ones to adult form in their life cycle is called metamorphosis. Let us learn about the process of reproduction in frog. Do you know frogs have a tail? When they hatched out of the egg, they had to go through many changes from the time they hatch out of the egg to becoming an adult. A female frog lays hundreds of eggs in water. The eggs have a jelly-like substance around them which acts as a protective layer for the eggs. The cluster of eggs that survived are called spawns. After a few days, the eggs hatch out and the baby frog comes out of the egg. It is called a tadpole. After hatching, it feeds on the egg yolk from which it came out. At this stage, it looks more like a fish with a tail and does not resemble a frog. They also have gills to breathe inside the water and feed on the aquatic plants for their survival. Gradually, after a few weeks, as the tadpole grows, it develops hind limbs and starts looking like a small frog. At this stage, it develops its lungs too, so that it can easily breathe when it is once out of water. Over time, the frog develops front legs and the tail becomes shorter and shorter. Now, it is transformed into a young frog called froglet. It does not look like a fish anymore. Froglet uses the nutrients that are stored in its tail as food. It doesn't need any food till the tail disappears. Once the tail completely disappears, it becomes an adult frog and ready to hop out of the water to the land. Now, it has fully developed lungs that help them to breathe on land and feed on insects for food. Metamorphosis in frog. A frog is an amphibian that can live both on land and water. It breathes with its skin when it enters into the water. The mother frog comes back to the pond to lay eggs, and again the life cycle continues.
Let us recall. A female frog lays hundreds of eggs in the water. When the eggs hatch out, a tadpole comes out that looks like a fish. A tadpole has a tail and gills to breathe inside the water. Gradually, it develops its limbs and develops into an adult frog and jumps out of the water.